my name is Katrina. That was me in the video you just saw. Today I have a lot to be thankful for. Right now, me, my mom, and my sister live in our own house, and we can live with one another and love one another, and we don't have to worry about not being safe, and we can just focus on our daily lives. And I don't have to worry as much about moving anymore or where I will be sleeping. And I've been in the same, me and my sister have been in the same school an entire school year, which is very new to us because we would always move every 6 months and it was really hard to keep up our grades. And when we moved to Mather Community Campus, we made a lot of friends there and they were very welcoming. And me and my sister go to the homework lab every day after school where I have really nice people who help me with my homework and that listen to us and that do fun things with us. Me and my sister have our own case manager, Miss Aisha, who we can go to and talk to about our feelings. Basically, just stuff that we can't go to and talk to about with our parents. And I don't have to worry about my mom anymore. She cooks dinner every night. She likes helping people and she goes to classes every day. And I don't have to worry about her being sick anymore. My mom loved us very much, but she was doing things that were wrong and we had to live in places that weren't safe. So last year, my mom gave me and my sister the decision to go live with our dad where it was safe or to move again. And we were always so worried about my mom's feelings, but we also we knew it was time to worry about ourselves too. So we chose Dad's house where it was safe. And my mom, she cried, but not because we chose Dad's house. We loved my dad and my stepmom, but we wanted to be with Mom at the time. But she was crying because her life was a mess and it was hurting us. So my mom, she came every night, tapped on our bedroom window, and she would say goodnight. We would always beg her to come inside. Eventually she would, but only for a little period of a time until we couldn't keep our eyes open any longer, and then she would leave. And then she ran the streets for a couple weeks, and then she figured out she needed to go to a treatment program, Volunteers America. And we moved about 3 months after only seeing her on weekends. We moved into Mather, and it was, we were happy because we were able to have our own place without roommates and get to sleep on a bed finally. And then, it was also scary too because not yet going to another school. And that was really hard for us because, we were used to it, but it was always hard because we had to worry about making new friends. And when my mom was doing drugs, I was always worrying about where we would be sleeping or if my mom got the place or not, and I wasn't focusing on my grades. And I would always get bad grades. I would do bad in school because I was so focusing on just what we will have to do after school. And now I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry as much as I did. And now I can be a kid and dream about what I want to be when I grow up. I don't have to worry as much. I'm getting good grades in school. And the college of my dreams that I want to go to is Sac State because I think that's a really good school. But I want to go to Sac State because all the VOA case managers at Mather went there. And what I want to be when I grow up, I want to be a veterinarian because I love animals, but I want to be a 911 dispatcher because I thought it would be really cool to help people. But with that job, you can't always promise them that everything's going to be okay because you don't know that for sure. But I would do everything I could to help them, just like the same way all of you helped me. And thank you for letting me share my story.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank Katrina for being so brave and sharing her truth about her life and the struggles that addiction causes families. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jacquie Nix. I'm an addict and a very proud graduate of Volunteers of America Mather Community Campus. When I arrived to the campus, I had 7 months clean. I came straight from rehab. But the reasons why I chose to do drugs in the first place were alive and well in my soul. See, my self-talk was that I was a failure in life, I was a horrible mother, and I was stupid. Many of us with addiction face these type of problems, but Mather has a solution. Through the classes that go over those type of self-esteem issues and the caring support staff that are there to say, "That a girl, way to go, you are somebody." Or the counselors that are there that loved me and taught me how to love myself. My self-esteem began to rise, and those self-truths were no longer truths at all, but more just self-doubt. And I began to grow. Mather is a work program. We're allowed to be there for 1 year, and I didn't have any job history that I was particularly proud of, nor that I wanted to continue as I moved forward. And there are challenges with that, and they have a solution for that as well. I attended Job Club, where I got to write a resume, highlighting some accomplishments that all that self-doubt that I had kind of put at bay. I got to remember that I once did some really amazing things. They taught me how to look for work using the computer, taught me the value of following up on your job application, and for me, they taught me how to interview and interview well. All the while, we have to do community service hours, and I really didn't understand the value of that at the time. I just knew that I had to put back into the community, and I chose to work in the kitchen. And in so doing, I developed a passion for a job well done, and I began to have pride in those accomplishments. I got to know who and what I was. I really, really wanted an internship in the kitchen because, see, for me, some of the trauma that I had faced in my life made me afraid of the world. And I didn't want to leave the safety, comfort, and security of Mather. But I wasn't chosen. That weekend, I thought about relapsing. For a little bit of time, I thought about going back to what I knew to numb the pain. But I didn't. I took that road less traveled for me, and I actually sat in my feelings, and I felt them. And I wasn't alone. See, Mather is a community campus filled with addicts, alcoholics, homeless. They were there to support me because they're going through their own trials and tribulations. The support staff is there to kind of monitor people's behavior and to be there for them. And once again, I got the love and support from my case manager. And I did something different that following week. I actually did what Job Club taught me, and that was to follow up on a job application. I got an interview. I came with my resume and a beautiful letter of recommendation that Casey, the manager in the kitchen, gave me that stated that I was a hard worker. I showed up for work on time every day. I never missed a day of work. And I learned quickly. I was upbeat, and once trained, I could train. That was enough. That was enough for me to land a job. I'm proud to say that I work for Starbucks. Thank you. It couldn't be a more perfect fit for a woman like me. At Starbucks, our mission is about connection and about being there for others, about uplifting communities, and I fit in right well there. One of my accomplishments, about 3 months after I began working there, there's this achievement called Partner of the Quarter, and that is something that the people who I work with, they nominate one person who best lives the mission statement of Starbucks. And they nominated me, and I won. And I was like, are you sure? And because I still had that self-doubt a little bit, but those are those little things that kind of bring people up. I love my coworkers. We're called partners for a reason, because we're a part of something bigger. They are my family. They knew early on that I was in recovery because I wasn't going out after work and having a beer. I wasn't meeting up on Sunday brunches for mimosas, and I finally just got sick and tired of just saying, no, I can't. I instead let them know that I was an addict in recovery, and they totally understood, and they embraced that, and they allowed me for the first time in my life to be authentic. I am transparent, and not only that, but my manager at the time told me to share my story with my customers and let them know who I am. All of a sudden, these flaws within me are no longer flaws at all, but they're attributes. My customers are not my customers, they are my friends. I've been with Starbucks for about a year and a half, and I've got to watch these customers come in that are celebrating life events, bringing new babies into the world, going through anniversaries. I also get to be there when they come in and they're sad, and maybe somebody close to them has passed away, or they lost a job, or there's a death in the family. I care about these people. As a matter of fact, I'm so supported by Starbucks that there's a whole table full of Starbuccaneers here that knew that they were going to have somebody from Volunteers of America speaking, and it's me, and that is how much love I receive today. My life is 180-degree different from the sad little waif that came into Volunteers of America. I have my daughter in my life today, and I no longer consider myself a horrible mother. I'm simply a woman who made bad decisions, and that led to really bad consequences. But my daughter's in my life. She trusts me, and I love her. I have friends and family now, a whole group of support from my rehab, from Mather Community Campus, my 12 Steps program, my partners at Starbucks, my loving boyfriend, especially my case manager that allowed me to become this person by giving me the gifts and tools that I needed. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who donated money last year and the year before. I am the direct result of your love and contribution, and I also want to say thank you to those of you who are here today who will help the future generations of addicts, alcoholics, and the homeless. The next time that you look down the street and there's a man holding a sign that says, "We'll work for food," or you see a junkie that you just know is so desperate, it's really easy to say, "Oh, just go get a job." Or it's really easy to throw them a couple of dollars to help feed their addiction. But that doesn't help anything. So when you give today and you drive down that street and you see those people, you can know within your heart that you just made a difference, because they don't know it yet, but they just might be the next person next year standing up here and saying thank you. God bless.
Well, good morning. My name is Paul Esch, and I'm the CEO of CVC Holdings here in Sacramento. And I have the privilege again this year of being the board chair for Volunteers of America in this region. Now, this breakfast, the Shelter from the Storm breakfast, started in 2002. And since that time, there has been more than 13 million nights that someone, a person, a real human being, has slept in a bed provided to them by Volunteers of America in one of their facilities in this region. Yeah? That's more than 900,000 nights each and every year. Now, I came to this breakfast first time 12 years ago. And I was absolutely shocked by the stories I heard that day. I can remember thinking to myself, my God, could there really be that many homeless children? I didn't know that 25%, or almost 25% of the population, of the homeless population, are children. And I sure didn't know that 45% of those were 5 years old or younger. Now these kids, they're probably sleeping in cars. They might be sleeping on a motel floor or in a friend's apartment building on the floor. But one thing's for sure, these kids have far more physical, mental, and emotional issues than an average child does. Another thing I didn't know is that a homeless child attends an average of 3 different schools each and every calendar year. That made me wonder how many would they attend in their lifetime. It's no wonder these kids fall behind socially and academically in school. And unless they find some kind of stability in their life, the odds are that they're going to be enslaved for the rest of their natural life in this country's perpetual system of poverty, addiction, or maybe incarcerated. I worry that people don't think we can do anything about homelessness. And believe me, I am not a homeless expert, but I think we have to start with the problem of homeless children. We have to find a way to put parents with children into some kind of long-term housing, along with family counseling, rehab, tutoring for the kids, job training for the adults, whatever it takes to provide some stability to these kids so that they can become productive members of society when they grow up. And since this breakfast started in 2002, Volunteers of America has helped more than 35,000 parents learn to stand on their own 2 feet through their housing, rehabilitation, and employment services. Those 35,000 parents had more than 85,000 children that lived with them, who now have at least a shot at a different life, thanks to Volunteers of America and your generous support, so thank you. So we get together every year at this time to help try to close that funding gap that Leo talked about. And I know I speak for everybody at VOA when I say that with every year, we have been able to close that gap, so thank you. But I invite you today to help us with what we need most, and that is the financial support of our day-to-day operations. Now, my wife, Sarah, who's sitting over here, and I, we truly believe in Volunteers of America and their mission. We see how Volunteers of America's employees help people change their lives every single day. And Sarah and I, we believe in giving to causes that teach people to stand up on their own. So we've decided this year that we will donate $1,000 to Volunteers of America for every new society member that joins us here this morning. Right? So if everybody in this room that's not a society member became one today, it would be our privilege to write a check today to Volunteers of America for more than $300,000. So if I can now, I'm going to ask the table captains to pass out the pledge forms and the packets. And then we'll go over those together.